Hi there. You know, when most people think about hearts, they think about Valentine's Day. Well, granted, Valentine's Day is on the way. It'll be here really soon. I'm going to do something different. The design that I'm going to do for you tonight is going to be one that will allow you to enjoy hearts year round. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around. Let's get started. Okay, what we're going to be using tonight for this project, this is a heart frame from Hobby Lobby. I think it was $2.99. They have these sometimes at the Dollar Tree as well. Just kind of have to catch them when they're there. But I missed out on that, and so this one was $2.99 from Hobby Lobby. I will, however, be using some of the flowers. These are tea roses from Dollar Tree. This is in part of their spring collection. I will be using some pearls. I'll leave the link for this. I believe I got this at Amazon, so I'll leave the link for these. It's $7.99 for this bag. I've used some, so there were actually more than that. And then I'm also going to use some ribbon. I'm using 2.5-inch ribbon. You can use whatever size ribbon you want, whatever color you want. Same with the flowers. Same with the pearls. You can use different color pearls, or you can use beads, or you can use gems, whatever you want. But this is what I'm using tonight. So I will also need a pair of scissors and my trusty hot glue gun. So it's a really quick project, but it's going to be beautiful. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is start with this ribbon. And I am going to begin putting this around the frame. And there's a lot of frame to do. So what I'm gonna start out doing is I'm gonna actually kind of just glue the beginning point on here. So I'm gonna take my hot glue gun just to get it started. Start back here. I'm just gonna glue this down just so that it stays. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull this around and tuck it here. And then I'm just gonna start wrapping this ribbon around the wreath frame. And like I said, there's a whole bunch to do, so I'm just gonna kind of wrap as I go, and I'm not gonna worry too much about anything other than getting it through here right now. So I'm actually gonna probably cut a big piece of this because I don't want to have to keep rolling through. And this is not enough to do the whole thing, but I'm just gonna stop right here with this so that I can get started. And then I'll pick it up again. So I'm throwing this on the floor, so it's kind of out of my way. Let's do it this way. All right. So once I start wrapping, you'll see that it actually goes pretty fast. All right, I actually took a moment to go ahead and fold this up so that I could get it through here a lot faster. So here we go. And we're just gonna wrap this around, pulling this through all the way as we cover the entire frame. You want to make it tight, but it doesn't have to be like super, super tight, but just enough to cover. And I'm overlapping, as you can see, just because I want to make sure that the coverage is there. So I'll continue to do this all the way around. You see, it's really simple to do this part. So I'm going to continue to wrap, and then I will be right back with you. Okay, so I have gotten to the end of this, and I actually did cut off enough to get all the way around. So what I'm going to do here, now that I'm at the end, is I am going to cut a piece that's going to flip over and glue onto the back. So I don't want a lot of excess, but I do want to make sure it at least goes around to the back. So I'll cut that. Then I will flip it over, and I still cut more than I meant to. So I'm going to end up cutting some of that off. I'm going to go ahead and put my glue here to glue this down. And then I'm just going to cut off the extra because we don't need that. Okay, so here is the frame, now covered in ribbon. And the next thing I want to do is decide where my flowers are going to go. So I am a bit of a perfectionist, I must admit. And this really bothers me in the corner that I didn't quite get this right as tight as I want it. So guess where those flowers are going to go? They're going to be right down here. So what I'm going to do is take the tags off of these flowers. I'm going to have to cut it. They don't do anything else. They do get these tags on here nice and tight. Don't need that part down there, so I'm going to leave that as it is. And push all of the leaves up. And I am going to cut these off. So I didn't say I needed a wire cutter, but I do. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these off. And I'm going to cut them about here. And another thing I like to do, I will share tips and tricks with you all, especially when you buy Dollar Tree flowers. It's always a good idea to go ahead and remove the flower. They pop off quite easily. And so that they don't pop off your design later, put a dab of hot glue on the end. And stick the flower back on there. So that way, you don't end up with flowers falling off your design later. So I'm going to do that real quick to all of these. Again, pull the leaves down, pop the head of the flower off, dab of glue on the end, and pop the flower back on. Pull my leaves back up and set that aside. So let me finish the rest of these and I will be right back. All right, so I have 8 of these done now. And what I am going to do is I'm going to have 4 on one side and 4 on the other. And I'm just going to group them, kind of just getting them put together in a cute little bouquet. And while I have these 4 on this end, I think I'm going to do that like that. I have them gathered here. Then I'm going to slide the other 4 the opposite way. So what it's going to do is allow me to zip tie all of these together so that I can put them on my wreath frame. So here we have these four, and on this side we have these four, and they meet up in the middle. So I will take a small zip tie and I will secure them together. If you don't have zip ties, you can use Chanel strips or the little pipe cleaners, that's what they are, to put them to where they're secured to each other. I can still adjust these a little bit just to make sure I have these going like I want. I want to make sure we can see everybody. Okay. So that's pretty tight. And cut that off. And that is going to go here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a larger zip tie and zip tie that down right here. So this is a much larger zip tie. And I think I'm actually going to do this to where that's going to hook up in the back. But let me at least get it started here, and I'll twist it around in just a second. Have it go around the back. You want to make sure that's nice and tight. And don't worry about being able to see that because we're going to put some stuff in the middle. Okay. So here we have our roses. Here, we have a gap here. You can add some greenery. You can hot glue some additional flowers down here. You can put a bow right here. And I think what I'm going to do is put a bow right here. So let me get some ribbon. And yes, guys, I'm so sorry. I know I said at the beginning, I need this, 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 and this. And now I'm saying, okay, you need wire cutters, you need zip ties, and ribbon. Bear with me. This is my first go at this. So we'll call it just Blooperville for a moment. This is Dollar Tree ribbon as well. And then I have a white ribbon that I want to use, which you can get from anywhere. And I'm also going to use some of the green ribbon that was in the original design. So I'm going to set that aside. I have a lovely bow maker. Yes, something else to add. I'm not going to use this greenery right now. Okay, so I have a bow maker because I am not great at making bows by hand. Some people can do this and they do so well, but I'm not one of those people. So as not to frustrate you or me, I'm not even going to try it. I'm going to do it. It's tried and true for me, which is using an actual bow maker. So I'm grabbing this white ribbon here. Sorry if you hear something. Okay. So because this is such a small design, I'm not going to do long or big bows. I may have tails, longer tails, but I'm not going to have, you know, extremely big loops. So let's do a 7-inch, let's do a 7-inch tail. And we will have maybe 5-inch loops. So let's do that here. And you can just measure that out if you have a bow maker. If you don't, you can also use your mat, or if you're really good at doing bows by hand, you know what to do already. So this is going to be about 5 inches on this side. I'm going to do 5 inches on this side as well. And another tip or trick for you. If you aren't sure, or if you just want to double check yourself, you can always bring your loops up to make sure they're the same height, or the same length, because you don't want to have a lopsided bow. But once you have your first one down, it's pretty easy from there, because you just measure the next one against that one. Then I'm going to do one more bow on this side. Now don't twist when I go back through, because I am going to have a tail come out on this side. So there we go. We've got two 5-inch ribbons on either side in white. I'll bring this down and cut. Be nice and wrap this back up while I have touched it today. So I'm trying to keep my ribbon nice and neat. All right, so that is the bottom. I am going to, I think, do the green in between. Again, it's a 7-inch tail. We'll do a 5-inch loop. It goes through to come out on the other side. You twist to bring it back over. All right, and we can do this one more time. And when I come back through this time, again, I won't twist, because I am going to have my tail. I'm going to go ahead and spread these out the way that I'm going to want to secure them, so that I don't have to wrestle with it in a little bit. And you tend to do the opposite of what you did on the other side as far as your bow placement is concerned. And I'm going to cut this off here. Again, at 7 inches. Okay. Then we're going to do the pink. I'm going to do the pink a little bit shorter as far as the loop is concerned. So here, I'll still have a 7-inch tail, And because I have this crease, I'm going to cut that off. So I'll still have a 7-inch tail, but I'm only going to do one loop on each side, and I'm going to do it a little shorter than the ones before. And this is going to be like right in the middle. So that's about a 4-inch loop. And again, these are my last ones, and they weren't like really next to each other. So I want to make sure that they fall about the same. So just test that. Come out here, cut this off. Okay. And I will pin this back up. Or pin it up because it was brand new. Okay. So from here, you can do a couple different things. You can either secure this with a Chanel strip or a pipe cleaner, or a zip tie, or a combination of the two. And I am going to opt to do a combination. So I am going to start out with a zip tie, and I need a larger zip tie. I'm going to slide this underneath my ribbon, underneath all parts. So it's up against the board. I'm going to pull this up here in the center. I'm going to start zip tying, but I'm not going to secure it all the way. I'm going to allow this to help me pull this out of my bow maker. And you see the indentation here in the middle. That's where I want this to go. Tighten it a little bit more. Still not securing it 100%. I'm going to move my tails around, my ribbons again. Make sure I have stuff going where I want it to be. And then I'm going to flip this over. And before I secure it all the way, I am actually going to take a Chanel stem and slide it through here. So I have a white Chanel stem. I'm going to slide it through here between the zip tie and my bow. Make sure it's even. And then I'm going to go ahead and cinch this all the way as tight as I can. Before I cut it, I'm actually going to flip it over, make sure everything is where I want it to be. I want these to actually like be full. So I'm going to scooch those up like that. Hope you can see this. I'm going to turn this over and cut my zip tie off. I'm going to bring this back over. And I'm going to take the zip ties and I'm going to wrap, not the zip ties, the Chanel stem, and I'm going to wrap it around the back. and I will secure it. And to secure it, I'm just twisting it back here. And because you do not want this to stick anybody, twist that around a little bit. And then I'm going to cut these off. I'm going to cut them off in such a way that I can tuck the wire part down, because I don't want to get stuck. Nor do I want anybody else to get stuck, nor do I want anybody's door to get stuck. So now I've got this, and I am going to make these bows stand way up because I've lost my flowers a little bit. Move that back a little bit so I can scoot that up. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to trim my tails, and it just kind of depends on you. You can do tails that are cut at a diagonal. You can do tails that are cut in a dovetail. You can curl them. These aren't as long as some of the others that would do better curling that way, but you can still try it if that's what you like. It's really all up to you. But I am going to cut at an angle on the green. I am going to dovetail the pink. And when you dovetail, you're just folding it in half and you're cutting at an angle up toward the edge. I'm going to cut my angles on the green in opposite directions. Just because. And then for the white, I think I will dovetail those two. So on the white, I'm just going to fold that up. Cut. And fold this up. And cut. Oops. Fix that. Got something weird going on with that. Okay. So we have flowers here at the corners at angles. We've got our ribbon, and the last piece of this are the pearls. Now, I am going to just randomly place some along here. These pearls are all the same size. I'm going to use my hot glue gun very carefully to do this. Because I don't want to burn myself. And I wouldn't want you to burn yourself either. So I am going to actually put the glue on the bead, on the pearl, to avoid as much of the issues of glue strings as possible. And it's just a little dab that you're doing. I'm not an AKA. I just like pink and green together. But if you are an AKA or you know an AKA, and this is something that you would either like to do or have me do, please feel free to reach out and I will do that. So I've got those on that side done. Trying to get the ones that are already outside of the inner bag. Come on. It's a two-handed job here. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this side, and we'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this other side, and we may do something with some other ones in just a second. So let me come here. They're running from me. I'll come down this way first. Let's scoot this over a little bit. Okay. So now, of course, I want something in the middle of this heart in this little portion here. I think I'm just going to do these. Like so. Okay. Oops, got a bead left, a pearl left. I will turn this around. All right. So you could also put pearls on the bow if you want. Now, but if not, you're good. You can now put a hanger on here. A couple different things you can do for the hanger. You can use a U-pin to attach. And a U-pin looks like this. Sometimes they call them floral pins or whatever as well. But you can use these to attach in the back and you do it at an angle to have those stick down, and then you would stick a Chanel pin through them. You could also take a picture frame. I don't have one right in front of me, but one of the, picture frames, you can cut the little hook off the back of that and glue it on the back. You can also use, bear with me just a second, let me grab something else. You can also use these. They're called mounting bases. You can get these at any hardware store, not Hobby Lobby. They might have them there too, but you can get them at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, Ace. So you can get these, and what you would do is you would take the adhesive back off, and then you would glue it down here along with some E600. So I would E6000. So I would do both to secure it well, and then it's good to go. You could stick your Chanel hook through here, your Chanel strip through here to hang it. And I actually think that's what I'm going to do with this one, because I don't want to stick anything through this ribbon. So let me grab my E6000. They got a couple of different ones of these. If you don't have any E6000, Gorilla Glue also works. But E6000, they've got one that's a low odor one. That's not the one I have in my hand. But if you can get that, that's best. So it doesn't smell as strongly. So I'm going to put some E6000 in the center here. Just like that. That's all you need, not much. I'm going to close this back up. And then I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm going to go on either side of it, the hot glue. And then I'm going to secure that on the back right here. The advantage of using hot glue with this is the hot glue sticks immediately. And then later on, once this E6000 has cured, it will make that a permanent thing for you. So once that's done, you see these little holes on the side. You can just stick your Chanel stem through there. I'm not going to use this one, it's too short, but I'm just, for demonstrative purposes, I'm showing you can stick it through there, and then you can make yourself a hook to hang it on the door or on the wall or wherever it is you want to hang it. So let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video and my first tutorial. Bear with me. I'm going to begin doing these on a weekly basis, so they'll get smoother. But I really thank you for joining me today. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for SDC Wreaths for you so that you will know when I am doing my next post. All right, guys, have a great one. Bye.
Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Females need you just to trick me, trick me, trick me, trick me. 'Cause baby girl, you are so easy, baby. The only reason that I can do tonight is 'cause I know you were invited. The only reason that this dress is skin tight is 'cause I thought that you would like it. I'm only gone for the secret outside because I want you to like it. The only reason I can do